everybody, welcome to Kevin's Auto Channel. I'm Kevin Walters, and I'm so glad you joined me today. Hey, we've got some new spy photos from the S650 project for the 2024 Ford Mustang S650. Now, these photos are becoming very controversial, so let's get into them. So, if you've been on the internet lately, or even social media, I'm sure you've seen these pictures floating around. Well, let's start with the front end spy photos that have come out, or leaks, because that's exactly what they are. They're leaks. This is one. If this is the true body style, this is one of those designs where you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Right now, I'm hearing a lot of hate on this design for very good reason. For some reason, Ford has gone very, I don't know, industrial, I would say, with the design of the new S650. And by that I mean, if you look at the front, it looks so angular. It's almost like it's not even styled. It's just, it reminds me of a truck. Or if you remember the New Edge Mustang, back before the S197 came out, the New Edge, the old body style, the way the headlights are very angular, very cut off, very abrupt, it reminds me a lot of the New Edge. But the reason I said it reminds me of the truck is when we get to the interior in a minute, the interior looks a lot like a truck, like the F-150 and the Bronco had a baby. So I know Ford is really focused on making brands out of the models of their vehicles. So F-150 is trying to become a brand. Of course, Bronco has become its own brand, and they have a horde of accessories to go with it that you can choose from. And now they're trying to brand the Mustang. And the Mustang, the design of this Mustang is just, it's disappointing. And I'm always, now, let me preface this by saying I'm always like this whenever a new design comes out, because I don't like change. This S550 that I'm in, I love the lines on it. The lines on this S550 are so contoured and beautiful and sweeping and flowing, and they're designed very well. I love the S550 body style. The S650 is going the total opposite way. They're going very angular, industrial, sharp lines, sharp cut off, sharp angles, squared off, boxy. It's just, it just I don't like it. It's like we're going back to the ugly Mustangs of the late 70s and 80s. It's just, I don't like it. So, with that being said, a lot of Mustang fans are disappointed with this design. Rightly so. So that's enough bashing on the front end photos of the S650. Now let's move into the interior, and this is where a lot of changes are happening. If you look at the interior of my 2021 Mustang S650 body style, mine has the 401A package, which includes the digital dash. And of course, I mean, the digital dash was a new thing for the Mustang, and you know, it's like they cut the middle out of the instrument panel to fit the digital dash in there, and you can still see the remainder of the, you know, tach and speedometer curves on the outside. That's okay. I mean, it looks fine to me. The digital dash of the new S650 is straight out of the F-150. Straight out of the 2021 and 2 F-150. And you can tell it looks like a truck digital dash. The fonts, it doesn't have the styling that the digital dash in the S650 has. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I don't know if this is the production models or not, but more than likely this is what they're doing. And it just, the digital dash in my S650, you know, it changes the look as you go through the driving modes, or you can set it to any one you want. But unless they've, you know, packed special software into this new digital dash, or the one they're using in the F-150, I don't know if it's going to change or not. I don't know if it's going to be the same look no matter what driving mode you're in. I don't know. But there again, there's another disappointment, at least in my opinion, for the S650. Now, one thing I am happy to see is the steering wheel. Spot on. I love the flat bottom steering wheel. The steering wheel in the S650 was carried over from the S197, and you can tell it's dated. It has a classic look to it with the, you know, the round horn button airbag housing. It has a retro feel to it. But I've always had a problem. If you look at the navigation buttons and the way they did them, especially the buttons up underneath the main button console, it looks like it was an add-on. And I never have cared for that. But I mean, it is what it is. You can get a carbon bargain steering wheel and put on it, change up the look a little bit, but I mean, you're still going to have the inner housings of the buttons and all on that aftermarket steering wheel. But still, they hit it out of the park with the steering wheel on the S650. That is the one thing that I like about the S650 is the steering wheel, the way they've integrated the buttons. They really designed this steering wheel, and it looks really good, and it's functional too with the flat bottom. I really like that. Now, another point to focus on is the center infotainment system. Now, like they borrowed the digital dash from the F-150, they have borrowed the center infotainment system from the Bronco. This is the same looking infotainment system as is in the Bronco, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it fits. You know, I would have liked to have seen, if they were going to borrow anything from the F-150, I would have liked to have seen the center infotainment system from the 8 and the 12 inch infotainment systems in the F-150. I love those. They're big, they're bold, they're in your face, they look really good, they're integrated very well. I think they could have pulled this off if they would have tried a little bit harder in the S650. But I understand with the size and everything, the Bronco's infotainment center, it's a little bit more modest and fitting for the Mustang, I guess. But I still think they could have pulled off the F-150 infotainment systems. Now, if you look below that center infotainment system, you will see something interesting. On the S197 and the S550, you had the toggle switches. There was a reason for that. Now, you may know, you may not know, the Mustang was designed after the P-51 Mustang, the World War II fighter, the star fighter plane, piston engine plane of World War II. And that's where the inspiration and the design came from. And you can tell throughout Mustang history, well, at least the 60s, 70s, and early 70s, and then up into the current generations, you can see that styling, you can see that influence from the P-51 fighter plane. Now, they have gone to more of a standard button now, which, I mean, to me, they are taking away the heritage of the Mustang. They're modernizing it way too much, and you can tell they're trying to update. They're trying to keep up with the times. I understand that, but then again, they've gone a little bit too far, and they've taken away the heritage. I'm not okay with that. So that being said, that's the buttons down there. But if you notice the one beside the engine start stop button, which I'm glad they kept that, but if you notice the one beside it, you will see a familiar yet new era symbol, and that is the auto start stop engine feature. Now, I know with the EPA regulations, we knew this was coming. S650 has brought it to us. Auto start stop on the S650 Mustang. Now, studies have shown that this is more of a gimmick than an actual save the earth type of feature, because it really doesn't change your gas mileage that much. In fact, it actually hurts the car, because it's putting so much extra stress on the starter that the starters of these cars are eventually going to wear out so quickly, because there's so much cycling with it constantly. Every time you stop the vehicle, it's going to cut off and then start back up again once you start releasing the brake. That's a lot of wear and tear on the starter, and it's not off long enough to even make a difference, just barely a difference in your MPGs. So, I mean, it's just a regulation, something that lawmakers thought would be a good thing, and in concept it is, but in reality it's worthless. So my thoughts are, when you see auto start stop in a V8 car, I'm talking about the Coyote 5.0, we're more than likely going to see cylinder deactivation. Now, we do see this in the new generation F-150. The new 5.0 and the F-150 does have cylinder deactivation. It's just fitting that they will use a variation of that engine for the Mustang. It's already in production. more than likely they're going to use it. So with that being said, your S650 V8 Mustang is going to will have auto start stop, and more than likely it will have cylinder deactivation. Now, here's the trick. If Ford designed the Mustang like they did the F-150 with this, there is a cable attached to, it's either the positive or negative battery cable. It's an extra connection, and if you unplug that, then that deactivates the auto start stop and the cylinder deactivation, and you don't have to worry about it. Now, I don't know if Ford has caught on to this and they're not going to include it in the Mustang. I don't know if they did this on purpose because they know people really don't like it, so they offered this to say, hey, here's a little gimmick, here's a little trick, do this and you don't have to worry about it. I hope this is the case, but we will see when the final S650 is put into production and introduced at the probably the Detroit Auto Show. So we will see what happens with that. So going back to the heritage of the P-51 Mustang fighter plane of World War II, if you noticed especially the S197, well, going back to the SN95, the New Edge, the original 60s Mustangs, all throughout the Mustang history, you have seen the double brow dash in the Mustang. And that's just a nod to the heritage of the plane. So, in this, they're going away from that. And there again, once again, you can see that, you know, they're going away from the heritage. Now, you know, these spy photos, you know, they're not the best photos in the world. They're low resolution. They're photoshopped some, you know, to take the people out of them so they don't get in trouble for showing it. They're not the best photos. But, you know, from what we can tell from these, I really don't see the double brow in the dash. Of course, you know, the dash is covered up, so I mean it could be there, but I don't think it is. I think it's more of a flat. But there again, that goes to my point where they're going away from the heritage of the Mustang to make its own brand. But in my opinion, they are messing up. They're probably going to drive away their original, the loyalists to the Mustang. They're not going to be happy. There's a reason why we love the Mustang so much. And there's a reason why we love the S550 so much, or the S197, or whatever you're into the most. The original Mustangs, the 64s and a half, and on up, you know, there's a reason why we love this car so much. And it seems like Ford and their designers are wanting to go away from that. And, well, I mean, you see that all throughout America today. Everybody's trying to get rid of heritage. Everybody's trying to get rid of what we've known all our life, and trying to give us new ideas and new concepts and new ways of thinking. And just leave us alone. Let us think the way we want. Let us like what we like. Let us be, you know. But anyway, I'm ranting. But still, it will be interesting to see the final whole design unveiled at the Detroit Auto Show. Hopefully it will be better than what the spy photos are showing. Hopefully it won't be such of a loss as far as heritage and styling goes, but it's looking like it's very, very much designed after the Bronco and the F-150, and it's just going to be different. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't like change. I don't like when these radical changes. I didn't like the S550 when it first came out. I liked the S197, but then I grew to like the S550, and I love it. I wouldn't, but now I'm that way with the S650. I don't like the angular designs. I don't like the sharp angles and the lines and the digital dash of the interior. I don't like it. But we'll see. I'll give it a chance. I hope you will too. And let's see what happens in Detroit. It's coming up. They'll probably unveil it next year. Well, they'll probably unveil it this year at the Detroit Auto Show. It'll go into production. They'll release it in 2023 as a 2024 Mustang, and there we'll have it. So, what's going to happen to the Mach 1? It'll probably go away. What's going to happen to the GT500? It'll probably go away, but we'll see. I'm Kevin Walters. This is Kevin's Auto Channel. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video with your friends. Let's grow this channel. Let's keep going. I am excited to announce for 2022 that Kevin's Auto Channel has finally opened up a merch store. That is right. You can go online to the website listed right there across your screen, and it's also linked in the description below. You can go there. I believe I've made 7 or 8 designs for the merch store so far, and in each design there are hoodies, t-shirts, I believe sweatshirts, I know long sleeve t-shirts, hats, stickers, all sorts of things. So be sure to check out the website, the merch store for Kevin's Auto Channel. Pick you up some merch. Now here's the thing. I went to school for graphic design, so right now I'm trying my hand at designing the merch. So the designs that you see are my designs. They're my original designs. So we'll see how this goes, and leave comments down below, please. Let me know what you think about it. And yeah, be sure and pick you up some merch. Support the channel. We're growing. We're about to hit 2,000 subscribers. So we'll see what 2022 brings.